Maybe we'll say something later that's funny that we can put in now. That's not just crippling depression.
In the first episode, it said something about how we're just watching these shows until death comes for us.
Yes, but you said that in a jaunty tone.
The world is on fire, all the countries hate each other, the president is a literal madman, the economy's about to die, and so are we, but everything's gonna be good because Kamen Rider.
Welcome to Brokusatsu, two brothers' exploration of tokusatsu shows and related media. I'm Sam.
And I'm Harry, and I apologize for making you watch these episodes.
As you should be, these were pretty rough. These are kind of the Me Too of Kamen Rider when you look at it at a certain angle.
It kind of gets far from the message of Me Too in some of the other parts, though. Because it's all about harassing a woman until she reveals that, no, she would only ride away to be better and closer to you in the end.
Yes, physically and emotionally abuse a woman until she realizes that it was her fault all along.
I mean, we'll get there in quite a lot of detail.
We will.
Look, I feel like some of the dialogue I've written down verbatim, and I almost want us to do a dramatic reading it, like, at one specific point, just for how bad it gets.
God. Did we have any business up top? We have an email address that we want people to write into. We have a Facebook page, right? A Twitter? What different places were you able to get Brokusatsu in?
We don't have a Facebook. We have a Twitter, which is just Brokusatsu. We have a Gmail, which is brokusatsu@gmail.com. We don't have a YouTube. There's some guy on YouTube that's Brokusatsu. I don't know who that is. I think he just uses it as a personal account. Although he had that one weird viral video, so good for him.
Yeah. Yay, good for him.
In the future, we'll mention this at the end of the show, but last time I forgot and had to awkwardly slide something in. So, yes, we have an email. Send us questions. Dear God, we need to talk about something other than this.
And why don't we have a Facebook page, Harry? You should be making a Facebook page.
Do we really want a Facebook page? Like, look deep inside yourself.
What would you prefer, that or an Instagram page?
Oh, can't we just have a Discord?
No. I avoid enough Discords as is, Harry, and I'm still not sure why the bifurcation of social networks. Like, why Slack? Why Discord? What is the difference? Seriously, what is the difference between Slack and Discord?
Look, we'll get a Slack, we'll get a Line, but no Facebook.
What's a Line? Is that a one that I didn't know about?
Yes, it's a Japanese-style chat room type thing.
Oh my god. Okay, but we should have a Facebook. I'm telling you, hey, fans, we have a Facebook. There, I put that out in the universe, Harry. You need to do it now.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's not like I can't edit that out of the podcast, you jackass.
Anyway, episode time.
Looking for C. Even the name is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Philip can't stand it. We start, and even in the last episode, there's something that I think we kind of skipped past a bit too quickly. Kirihiko's little speech to himself when he saw Kamen Rider Double. The moment I saw you, it's all I've been able to think about. How I want to split you in two. You're a married man now, Kirihiko. You gotta slow down.
A lot of tension there. Might be having some kind of impact on the marriage, which we will get to in great detail. But as this particular episode begins, Philip is exploring his mind. He is inside his CGI mind palace, and he is going from shelf to shelf. I'm not entirely sure what brought him to this particular search, but he seems obsessed with finding something about the Heavens Tornado.
Well, it's like Wikipedia diving, you know? That's literally what he does with his spare time. He just follows information links and interesting things, and, you know, you start on some TV show, you go to weird mathematics, you end in German philosophy. In this case, he ended up in an obscure dance move that, for some reason he's never encountered before, this book is locked.
He said that he hates when that happens, so I am assuming that this has happened to him before, right?
There's occasional weird things in the Gaia library, some things like this.
On the subject of weird things in the Gaia library, like, I'll get more into this later, but why the hell does he have stuff in his brain about high school street dancing? Who decided to put that piece of information inside his presumably weaponizable brain?
No one did. That's literally the concept of the Gaia Library. Is it's a collection of all knowledge on Earth. It's like the Akashic Record. He has all of the information that exists.
Is it up to date?
I don't know, but I mean, in the last episode, he was able to look into the personal memories of a dead man. Think about that.
But this stuff, like, he was rescued from the Gaia Library a year ago.
I think it might be up to date. Yeah, it's recent events.
So it's constantly updating, constantly cycling. He's learning, he is forgetting.
He doesn't have direct access to the information. He still needs to find it and read it. Like, he has an omniscient Google, but he still needs to Google it and read it, you know? It's a library. He needs to find the books and read them.
Anyway, so he finds a book that is locked, and of course he becomes absolutely obsessed with finding out about it. And so soon enough, he is upstairs writing all over the walls about high school street dancing, and the people are listening to Princess Wakanda talking up a new superhero in town, the Roach Star.
There's another masked vigilante in the town that a young girl probably thinks is her dad. See, more ways that that's going to fuck her up even faster.
Yep. Is he a man? Is he a roach? Is he the hero the city needs? Is he friends with Kamen Rider? Ooh. Do we think that Princess Wakana is intentionally baiting Kamen Rider with this?
I know a bit more about her specific knowledge of so I can't really... I think I know some more than you know about this, so I can't really answer that. But there's a quick note is that she is on the radio as Sonozaki Wakanda. She's not using a false name or anything. That this is literally just her job. As Philip runs out to find Hinamoto Dango, and by the way, dango is the name for a kind of sweet Japanese snack, basically like a dumpling. So I wonder if this guy got called dumpling by his grandma a lot.
A rock is thrown through the window.
Shotaro was pissed about it.
Well, I would be too. I mean, it didn't look like there was a whole lot of cash inside that envelope. Probably not enough to replace a window.
There was a stack of 1,000 yen bills, which are like tens. So it's probably like $50, which, yeah, it's like the window, not much more. Well, that's about the decision-making prowess that is on display in this episode. If there's a theme of this episode, it's that there's a secret dopant just going around sucking the IQ out of everybody.
Yeah, this is the classic everyone acts stupid episode of the superhero show.
For example, as Philip is walking through the door, Shotaro says, "Hey, the reason why you stay in the basement all the time is because you're hiding out from a secret, superpowered criminal empire. This really isn't a good idea." And Philip's like, "But I gotta find out about Heaven's Tornado!" and runs away.
And Akiko follows him.
There's the intro and the cold opening, and as we come back, Shotaro is following the lead from the rock through the window. There's a suspicious character in high school, and it's probably not Santa.
It is probably Shotaro, though, for Shotaro shows up at high school and is immediately accosted by the high school security, which, gold star for them. He is not the type of person you want hanging around high schoolers.
Also, the relatively small high school seems to have, like, a half dozen uniformed and heavily armed security officers. Maybe this is the response to the Dopant thing, that schools basically have private armies to deal with stuff.
The city government, kinda shit. The local school board, very on point.
Good to know where your tax dollars are going.
He did spot some kind of a mystery figure with a cape sprinting away, and he manages to get free of security in time to watch the Roach Star go to the principal's office and murder him.
Meanwhile, in the other plotline, at least for now, Philip and Akiko meet up with Dumpling Boy, who is a super famous hotshot high school street dancer. That's a thing in this universe.
It is.
He's just kind of sitting down, being real mopey, and Philip, to try to cheer him up, plays the most weak, anemic rap hip-hop beat you've ever heard. It's the worst. Oh god, damn. The second I heard it, I realized that I had remembered correctly. This episode is terrible.
So the street dancer... By the way, street dancer, the t-shirt he's wearing throughout this entire episode, Tupac.
Yeah, he's wearing a Tupac shirt.
I kind of wanted the Roach Star, like, at a certain point to have, like, a Biggie Smalls t-shirt on so they could, like, duel properly. Or maybe even, like, a Suge Knight if they wanted to get really meta about how dangerous he was.
If in the dramatic confession scene towards the end, Chizuru had taken off her school blazer and revealed, "I'm wearing a Notorious B.I.G. shirt," Dango, then that would have saved a lot, but... Oh. No, we can't skip ahead. We gotta earn our terrible ending. Philip is able to, like, perfectly replicate the dancing because he read it all in the library.
Yes, the very weakly, quickly choreographed street dance moves.
The people who made this show know how to choreograph, fights, not dancing.
Yes, and it shows. There isn't even cardboard on the ground. What are they doing?
And because of this lack of talent, they decided to later make an entire show around street dancing. Kamen Rider Gaim.
Did they at least get good choreographers for that show?
No. No, they don't. Everyone says the dancing in that show is horrible.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like this, I can believe it.
Heaven's Tornado is the ultimate technique that Dango's been working on, but he hasn't perfected. This is basically Zoolander.
Yeah, it really raises a lot of questions about the Gaia memory, how it works. Like, is it a move that they haven't even done yet? It's just like a theoretical dance move that this one kid and his former partner were working on?
He spent long nights just writing on whiteboards and things like that, just doing the physics for Heaven's Tornado, trying to figure out how it would make this work. Dango, when Akiko introduces herself, recognizes the Narumi name and realizes there's a problem here. So he runs away, to the confusion of Philip and Akiko. Meanwhile, Mick the cat is kind of nearby, just growling and being angry, because he is a cat, and that's their natural state.
I do like the menacing cat in this episode, lounging on a stand with his belt on, being like, I'm gonna fuck those guys up.
Philip and Akiko go into a bus to follow Dango, but then, in a nice bit of camera work, Philip says, Akiko, you gotta make sure you watch Dango, and then he just points down, and the camera moves down to show that the driver has appeared on his belt, because Shotaro is now fighting Roachstar.
So the cockroach has incredible speed, but at the same time, Kamen Rider is quickly able to get some homing shots onto him, and the fight's going to end in about 45 seconds, until Philip decides that it is more important to focus on dance moves than on the monster that is literally menacing him and his friend.
In the middle of the finishing move, where literally he's one trigger pull away from ending it all, Philip takes a phone call and gets distracted.
Not just distracted, the monster is waiting to die. He's just standing there, he's leaning against it, he's like, come on, shoot me, shoot me. He gives him every opportunity to end this thing.
Idiot ball. It's all this episode has. Sonozaki family antics. Wakana and Ryubi are playing 3 board games at the same time. They're doing a move in chess and walking over to another one and just kind of chatting while they do it. They seem to have they're nice and friendly and stuff like that. They actually seem to be good with each other. And Wakana is just passing along the info she got with the radio show. Like, hey, this Roachstar guy, I think he's one of the dopants we got, huh? So we're getting some good data off of him. And, Kirihiko's just nice and makes some comments.
Father of the evil family throws some shade at his newest son-in-law. Should not let Mick outdo him. Mick being the cat.
Yeah, who walks up in the middle of the board games as cats do, and is transformed into the Smilodon Dopant.
That's the name of the cat Dopant?
It's a specific species of saber-toothed tiger.
Good to know. We then jump to the Kamen Rider Shotaro meeting with Queen and Elizabeth, and there's some problematic stuff going on in here.
Yeah, they're the weird high school informants.
High school informants / sexual object. God, they're just doing all the creepy check marks this episode. How many seconds pass before one of them is talking about their butt and breast size to this, creepy fedora-wearing detective, as they are high school girls?
Shotaro kind of lights up the case. He's oddly professional. I think the stupidity ray isn't able to work on him because he's already so low. One of the problematic informants says, hey, there's this revenge porn website that people have been putting requests to that Roachstar is dealing with.
And by dealing with, we mean murdering. This cockroach is leaving bodies behind him.
And the other one mentions that in this particular case, they're pretty sure that the hit on the principal was a case of mistaken identity, because there are 2 Hoshinos at that school, and the other one was involved in a bit of drama recently.
We follow Philip and Akiko as they follow the dancer back to the high school. Has he been, suspended or expelled? He doesn't seem to be allowed on campus.
He dropped out, because he's a big old drama queen. And like a drama queen, he, storms onto the campus, yells that he's trying to find Chizuru. A teacher says, she's not here. He says, you're just trying to keep her from me. I'm insane. And he throws down his boombox, plays the shitty music, and starts dancing. The high schoolers are surprisingly supportive to this, kind of cheering along with the dancing.
I don't know. It's stopping them from class. I would probably support someone dancing in the middle of the quad for that.
Now, as a college-educated dancer, Sam,
Yes,
I have to ask you, can you give me a objective like critique of his dancing? Because I mean, I think this is all dumb, but maybe this is expert level, technique being shown off.
it is not. So, as the holder of a minor in modern dance from the University of Washington School of Fine Arts, that is not a lie. This is some pretty shitty dancing. Like this is, it's mostly camera work. It's shaky cam to kind of hide the fact that this was really rushed choreography. It's super basic moves. It's jumping. It's like basic kicks. He's not even doing any spins. He's not doing any jumps. Anything that we could do this, Harry. Give us like a week of practice. You and I could do this dance.
God, that's so damning.
I know. I know.
The teacher finally yells at Dango to leave because Chizuru is not your partner anymore. And Philip realizes that Heaven's Tornado is a couple's technique. Yeah, he's not able to read it because of that reason. Although he was able to read the father's memory of interacting with his daughter without any problem. So, question marks?
We jump to a shot of Shitaro looking. So Shitaro, the creepy dude in a fedora, standing above and watching a high school women's swim meet.
Yeah, for some reason he's not chased away from this area.
I gave a lot of gold stars to the security team before. I'm taking them back. I'm taking the ball back right now.
Dango was probably fist fighting every security guard in the metropolitan area because that's the kind of guy he is. So Shotaro was able to sneak inside and find the actual Hoshino that's the target, Chizuru, who is, getting changed. But Roach Star is there, and he is going to enact his requested revenge.
Shotaro challenges the Roach Star. The Roach Star starts to attack him, and they go to transform. But the Murder Kitty is menacing Philip and Akiko at that exact moment, chasing them around the school and through a nearby forest, thereby preventing Kamen Rider from transforming. A very tactical decision, Murder Kitty.
Yeah, Murder Kitty is shockingly competent, and he's earned his rank as Philip notices the belt means that Mick the Cat is literally a lieutenant in this criminal organization.
Lieutenant Mick, the Murder Kitty.
Do you think that guy from last episode was real annoyed that a cat was higher ranking than him?
I mean, if you're going to give one creature superpowers and just tell it to terrorize a town, a house cat, you could do a lot worse than a house cat.
Don't spoil too much for my special question at the end.
Okay. So we see some flashbacks with the dancer and his partner who has quit dancing to join the swim team. This is a dude that does not handle rejection well. Like, we're seeing actual, physical violence between the two of them. He's pushing her around. He's being the worst.
He's smacking walls, and she's saying, look, I made my own decision. I don't want to dance with you anymore. And she has, a furious expression on her face. It would be super weird if they pulled some kind of bullshit 180 at the end of the episode, huh? Because the actors certainly at this point feel like they are in a abusive relationship that broke up.
Which Philip is really, really obsessed with getting back together.
But right now, Philip realizes that he's going to have to jump.
Mm-hmm.
And
they jump into a surprisingly clean garbage truck.
Yeah, it's full of inflated plastic bags. They have weird garbage trucks in Futa City.
Well, they have to pick up a lot of construction debris. Thankfully, this one was full of wall insulation and not, concrete.
Then later in another scene, Dango kind of lets slip that he's the one who put out the hit on Chizuru because of their, shitty breakup. And at this point, Chizuru is full-on sprinting away from him, saying, "Help, he's trying to kill me." And Dango is chasing, saying, "No, wait, let me explain. This is so bad."
It's so bad. The writers couldn't have made this guy worse. He's abusive. He's literally responsible for people's deaths. He got that principal killed.
Yeah.
He put out a hit on an ex-girlfriend because she rejected him to go focus on on a physical sport, on swimming.
Yeah, she wanted to do something else with her free time. God, and there's a big old fight. Again, Double is about to take out Roach Star, but then Chizuru makes the very wise decision to tell Dango that they are done forever, which depresses Philip because no more Heaven's Tornado, and that distracts him long enough for Roach Star to just run up and rip out the guy memories from the driver. A shockingly effective move.
Yeah. Yeah, the roach uses its super speed very effectively. It has identified a very clutch weakness on Kamen Rider,
Yeah,
and so it has robbed him of his powers. So they need to quickly slap in a couple more Gaia memories.
this is the episode break. Now we go to Dancing Hero. Boy, it's not 100% clear how it works with the memories ripped out. He's still transformed, but he doesn't do any more shots.
It kind of looked like he was, super weakened at that point. Like he was struggling to even remain standing without the memories in.
Shotaro has to do a bit of a trick where he waits until the exact right moment, swaps to heat metal, and kind of impales the charging roach star on the staff weapon. And he just barely gets away here.
And the Roach Star actually steals the metal and the heat memory from him as well. So he is 4 for 6 as far as the memories go available to these two. Yeah, for a disposable villain, the cockroach is maybe the most effective minion that we've yet seen.
This puts even clearer perspective how shitty money memory was. Like, cockroach is 10 times better than money.
At everything. Except presumably for gambling.
Dango is elsewhere, being mopey, because for some reason his girlfriend that he physically assaulted and denigrated and put a hit out on doesn't want to talk to him anymore.
I mean, screw her, right?
They were the perfect partners. How could it have ever gone wrong?
We get a little bit more backstory on Roach, courtesy of Santa. Apparently, there's an underground street comic going around that is describing the Roach's actions in very vivid detail. Serial killer style, he is putting out some drawn images of his various crimes, of his murders around the city.
Which is pretty disturbing. On the other hand, he's a very good artist. I think when he's done with this whole revenge business, he might actually have a decent shot as a mangaka.
And so Shotaro is able to find some comics that show the person walking home. He does some image referencing to find out the right apartment complex and tracks him down.
Yeah, by the angle of the tower, he's able to recognize what part of the city this guy's working out of. It's the kind of knowledge of the city that Shotaro is actually useful for.
Yes, all the competence that everyone else usually has in this show went straight into Shotaro for this one scene.
Kirihiko has been kind of dealing with Mr. Cockroach on the side, saying that, hey, if you steal all of Kamen Rider's memories, you'll be rewarded greatly. And he tries to tell Psycho the amazing thing that he's going to do for her. But Psycho, kind of wisely for Supervillain, says, don't count your eggs before they hatch.
It's a little bit of trouble in the marriage. Oh no. Oh no. I do hope they're going to couples counseling.
It was all fun and games in the honeymoon phase, but now that they're actually married, they gotta get that work-life balance worked out, you know?
Yeah, it is very important for new couples to go through couples counseling, just to make sure that all the communication lines are open and that all their plans are in lockstep to conquer the world.
Yeah. Speaking of plans, Philip abducts 2 children and locks them up in his basement. That's another protagonist who can't go near any schools anymore. Trapped in a basically dark closet with her attacker and
her physical just abuser, yes. The person who has been stalking her, who has been performing violence upon her. God damn it, Philip. God damn it.
Chizuru breaks down, terrified and crying. At which point, the writer looked up from his writing desk and was like, shit, I only got 3 pages left. How do I fix this? How do I fix this? Oh, okay. Here, Sam, I'm gonna text you the transcribe for the scene. Do you want to be Chizuru or Dango?
I will be Dango. So, as a reminder, Chizuru is horrified for her life, locked inside a metal cabinet with, her violent oppressor.
I always felt like I was holding you back. I wanted to get better so that we could bring each other's best out instead.
No way. You were practicing your synchronized swimming to the song?
That's right, because synchronized swimming is something that you have to keep up with other people at. I thought I could figure something out.
Why didn't you just say something?
I knew you'd just tell me to depend on you.
Chizuru.
I mean, I want us to be the best in the world.
I'm sorry, I didn't consider your...
It's okay. I was the same way. I felt lonely.
Let's start over, okay? Together.
After a couple seconds, Philip starts banging on the outside of the tank saying, Start Start doing Heaven's Tornado already. God damn it.
So Philip, his long con to get two horribly toxic teenagers back together, it has worked, endangering both of their lives, especially Chizuro's.
She was practicing her synchronized swimming alone. And she quit being a dancer and started swimming so she could become better at dancing.
Yeah, the logic here doesn't really check at all.
Why didn't you just say something? There's just a farting noise after that. What?
I mean, I gotta assume that this is a total smokescreen, that she really quit the dancing because, she was terrified of Dango, and
Like,
she joined the swimming team to find some other outlet for physical activity in her life, away from him, as far away from him as possible. But, because they were locked inside a tank together and she was afraid for her life, she had to say something, right?
the second they get out of this whole situation, she marches to a police station and gets a restraining order filed out.
And good for her. That's our headcanon. That makes this episode bearable.
That's kind of resolved, and then Akiko has a weird, unnatural, one-sided conversation where, she calls somebody, they apparently pick up, and she talks without ever talking to the other person or confirming that they're there, says her whole bit, and hangs up. And this is just also that Roach Star can find out their location, because he stole the phone.
Roach Star shows up, there's a fight, and Dango gets involved in the dance fighting.
You're skipping so much here. I mean, I feel like we gotta slow down.
Oh, okay.
They start dancing, and it's just the basic footwork that they always do, that stupid music. And Philip is so goddamn close. He's so close, he can feel it. He's just staring at them. They're about to do Heaven's Tornado. Akiko is looking at him. It's almost hinting a romantic subplot for Akiko. And come on, Philip is not on that market.
Very much no. Akiko, you're barking up the wrong tree with Philip.
So that's when Roach Star shows up. He hits Chizuru in the leg with a manhole cover.
Shatters her leg.
Dango at this point actually tries to call off Roach Star for the first time, but Roach Star won't do that because who cares? Even though at this point he has a very good motivation to be fighting Kamen Rider anyways, so that would be something for him to say, "Oh, I'm not doing this for you anymore. I'm doing this to steal the memories." But now he's just, "I'm going to do revenge even if the revenge people don't care because that's how I'm a hero of the city."
And then we get into the dance fight.
Chizuru is sad because all this happened just after they figured out each other's waves, which is a phrase that makes so much clear meaning that it unlocks the memory in Philip's mind. Because Heaven's Tornado is based on the wave-like motion between the two people. Now they fight, they transform, and Philip does dance fighting. Cockroaches are fatally weak to hip-hop dancing, turns out. If you ever need to go Peskin Stroll, just slap down some concrete and start breakdancing.
It forgot that it was super fast and super threatening.
Yeah.
It forgot all of its powers.
Yeah, earlier, Roach Star was able to punch through giant concrete beams, but now Dango gets excited and just decides to jump in on the fight, and he's fighting alongside Kamen Rider.
I wanted him to die so bad. Just, turn around and gut the child.
Kamen Rider can punch for 2.5 tons. That's the level of strength that these monsters are dealing with. That's 60 times as strong as a normal human.
You have the conversion chart in front of you. I do not. I'm going to assume you are correct.
I did some math, man, for this. And Heaven's Tornado turns out to be a weird, imaginary bullshit space move where Dango holds up all of, well, in this case, Kamen Rider with the other hand, while Kamen Rider uses his magical wind powers to spin super fast and hit Roach Star. That's totally a move that he could have accomplished with, Chizuru, who is a normal human being.
Yeah, I kind of think that their ambitions were a little out of whack with their abilities based on their previous dance choreography, but you know what? Fine. Her leg's broken. She's off the swimming team and the dance team. Her life is safe now.
Akiko later says that it was a minor injury and that soon they'll be off to world competitions of terrible street dancing. Kirihiko is sad because, his Hitman plot failed.
Yep.
And as we end, we see that there's absolutely no character growth for Philip because the second he saw Heaven's Tornado, he stopped caring and is now moving on to other things. Hooray! So the moral of the episode is, if someone is desperately trying to get away from you, that's only because they secretly love you, keep chasing them, and they'll let you know at the last moment.
Yes, any action, any violence, anything you say is totally justifiable for the art that you care about more than anything else.
They're only trying to keep her from you. Keep chasing that girl. She's definitely into you, man.
Should we get into the plot questions?
We might as well.
All right. So the plot question I had, it's related to the Gaia memory. So a huge part of the plot of these two episodes is Philip's knowledge and obsession with high school level street dancing. So I just gotta wonder, what is the weirdest, darkest, most troublesome knowledge that Philip has inside his brain? And how is it going to impact the plot down the line?
That's an interesting thought. I mean, this is a children's TV show, so it's not going to go too many places, but I could definitely see. I mean, he literally has all the knowledge of all human beings everywhere. And if you wanted to do like a grown-up version of this, I could definitely see, like, imagine like Hannibal, something like this, like that show, like someone who could literally read the minds and thoughts of all the violent criminals in the world.
So he is straight omniscience. He just needs to access that information inside his poorly rendered, like, 3D mind palace.
And it's hard to find specific things sometimes, but he could find out literally everything in theory.
PIN numbers, credit card numbers, that's child's play for him.
Yeah.
He knows where all the nuclear, like, silos are. He knows where all the kidnapped victims are.
Oh yeah, like he could tell you, he could probably tell you where all the bodies are buried.
Okay. That gets pretty dark.
Instead, he's chasing down, like, fucking Dumpling Boy and his Heaven's Tornado as he fights his girlfriend.
Maybe we could just hope that, like, the in-between episodes are ones where they're, where Shitaro just kind of floats like, hey, what do you know about local kidnap victims?
Well, it turns out that the perpetrators were all our friends Watcherman and Santa, so we gotta let them go.
No!
No, they're actually nice people. We're making jokes. Lots of child murder in these episodes, huh?
Yeah, lots of child murder.
Let's go somewhere cute. All right, Sam, you're a pet lover.
Yes.
You got a bunch of animals in that house you're living with.
Okay.
So let's go over your pets and talk about which of them you would choose as a hitman in your organization.
So before I sound like a crazy person, and I start listing off the various pets, I do want to point out that my lovely wife is a former veterinary technician, and so some of these just kind of landed on us through that path. That said, we have 4 chickens, 5 cats, a guinea pig, a snake, a shit ton of fish. We have several cages of cockroaches. We have some beetle larvae that are currently hatching. I think we still have some silkworms in one of the back rooms. I kind of don't go in the back rooms with her bug experiments.
Do you know where the snake is? Because I know that sometimes you forget where the snake is and you find it later.
I think I know where the snake is. Like, I mean, I haven't checked recently, but, you know, if it's not where I think it is, then it'll probably make its way back. I'll check after we're done.
That's fine.
It's a sweet snake. Those are the pets I have, and what was the back half of the question?
What do you think would be the best as an assassin?
Well, clearly Inky, our cat. Inky, Lord High Inquisitor Maximilia Fuzzybottom. She is our most murder-prone cat. The one that, would be dropping off the bits and pieces of animals that were outside of their cages that she found around the place.
I don't know. See, I feel like Inky is a bit too friendly to outsiders. Like, she'll just go up to people and be petted, and she doesn't really attack people. She doesn't have that aggression, I don't think.
Yes, she does. Like, I mean, yes, she's all lovey. Like, she walks up to you, rubs up against your leg, then as soon as you turn around, it's like, ankle, hamstring, you're down.
Okay, so Inky is like the stealth assassin.
Which is kind of what you're looking for in an assassin, I would assume.
I don't know. What about Dirty D, though? I feel like Dirty D might be kind of like the kicked out of the doors, murder every motherfucker in this whole building.
Oh yeah, Dirty D's the John Wick cat, isn't she?
Yeah. You do not fuck with Dirty D.
You also never see Dirty D. You would never see her coming.
Momo.
Less we say about Momo, the assassin, the better.
Yeah, she just throw some food in one direction and Momo will follow it. I don't know, Cooper.
I could see him as like a giant cowardly bodyguard. That would be Cooper. Like, he would look menacing in a nice suit, but then when shit actually started to go down, he'd be out the door faster than anyone.
Maybe he's like a sniper or like a gadget guy, like somebody who can work on a home base. Like he does demolitions. just hiding in a closet with a bomb.
No, that would be the guinea pig. That would be Nico.
Oh yeah, Nico. I don't know enough about Nurgle's disposition, honestly.
Nah, he's pretty chill.
Okay, so for stealth assassin, we're thinking Inky, and for
Straight up averser, just take out the entire room. Yeah,
yeah, it's got to be
that'd
Dirty
be Dirty
D.
D.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, that at least we got that out of this.
Yes, we got this episode out of our system. I cannot imagine how any in the rest of the season could be this bad. Unless these characters recur.
Elizabeth and Queen show up a couple more times, but usually in better situations.
Okay.
Like, I think they later show up as just kind of a couple idols on a singing competition, which makes sense.
Aren't they played by, like, straight-up Japanese idols?
Probably. Next up, Trembling Before S. This is a two-parter that, spoiler, takes place largely at the Kirihiko Manor.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
There's lots of weird shit that's going to happen here that's going to confuse the shit out of you, Sam.
Hey, plot advancement.
So, Sam, are you ready to take it up a notch?
I believe I am.
Alright, that may make some sense later.
I look forward to maybe it making sense later.
That's the tagline of our show.